Good afternoon to all participants. So now we have a second session from 2:30 to 4 p.m. by Rajesh Kumar Verma. Rajesh Kumar Verma is basically Senior Technology Architect, Microsoft Group, AI and ML, Infosys, Hyderabad, India. He is the Solution Architect Component Engineer Group, TCS, Solution Designer, Workshare Building Society, United Kingdom. Worked in TCS from 33 Governors Place, London, England, UK. He has 21 years of industry experience, completed his BE from Northeastern Hill University. He has completed his MTech from AI and Robotic from University of Hyderabad, India. So Sir will deliver his lecture in the topic of Internet of Things, a perspectives. So now I would like to request Sir to deliver your lecture. Sir, please. Sir, your speaker is muted, sir. Please on your speaker. Hello, sir. Yes, yes, now it is audible.
Now you are able to hear me, Jalal.
Yes. Fine, sir.
Okay.
Please proceed.
One minute. Uh, you are able to hear me, Jalal?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please proceed, sir.
Okay. Good afternoon to all the participants, and thanks to the organizers, Abhishek sir, and all the other respectable dignitaries who
Thank
have
you, sir.
given me the chance to speak on this particular topic. It's a very interesting topic and very close to the heart of the people working in the industry, because it has so happened that this topic is basically the action item of the smart city, as well as the smart healthcare, the smart security, and everything that was talked about in the previous lecture. So, without much ado, I would like to start this topic and give you a perspective of what we do in the industry. And also, if there are any questions, like I believe you can raise them in the discussion or reserve them for later on. That's fine with me. Like I suggest that we can have the question and answer sessions in the last part of my presentation, so that I could answer all your questions. Now, I just like to tell you that there are basically 4 technologies, and it's very easy to remember. A, B, C, D is the technology word. A standing for AI, B standing for big data, C standing for cloud, and D for the data science. So you have just to remember A, B, C, D, and basically the IoT, it falls under the perspective of artificial intelligence. That is the first A that is there. And I like to tell you about the IoT usage in the industry, since I am from the industrial background, and as you have been told that I work in Infosys. Now, I'll just go ahead to the second slide, which is about the IoT. Uh, Here we have the particular agenda, and the agenda will be talking about the IoT. We'll be also talking about certain other things which are related to the IoT per se. We'll be talking about the IoT platform overview. We'll be talking about all these market trends as well. And you see this agenda screen in front of you. So let's talk about the IoT. And about the IoT, basically, we are talking about Internet of Things. What we really say is when we talk about IoT, one thing we should understand is that all the things which are there are now connected via the internet. That is, all the physical objects, like for example, the vehicles, the buildings, and all the other things that you can imagine about are basically connected via the internet. And after the connection to the internet, we use the particular sensors to connect them and then basically draw the data out of them. And then once the data is drawn, then basically we take the data and we also analyze the data as to what better we can do with the data that we have collected. The various names for IoT, but it is basically the IoT also, and that is what we name it simply as machine to machine. Like what we really say is that we are basically connecting one of the machines to a different machine, and that is basically the name for IoT. And what happens really is basically that we derive the particular data out of one of the sensors and then give it to the other sensor or analyze it so that we can basically go ahead and derive some meaningful observation out of that, and then we can correct the entire thing. Now, I also want to tell, when we are using IoT, we can also name it as the Internet of Everything. That means every device will now have the internet associated with it, and it is basically going to have a particular IP address of its own. You know, IP4 is basically the standard that we follow for the IoT, but IP6 is basically coming in slowly, and that is what Cisco Systems basically says, that every object that we use in the IoT is basically going to have the internet in that particular object. We also call it the world size web, and then the Bruce Snyder has basically named it as the world size web, in which every object, whether that's a inanimate object, that is going to be connected to the web, and we also call it the Skynet. And in this particular movie, the movie you must have seen, the Terminator movie, and that is where we basically have this particular term, the Skynet, involved, and basically it all stands for the IoT itself. Now, I'll just jump on to the next thing. Okay, sorry about the delay. And you just think that you are driving your car to your office and you are on your way to a particular important meeting. But because of certain constraint, you got delayed to the particular meeting. And when you got delayed, you automatically inform all the participants of the meeting to basically state that you are delayed and you will be arriving late for the particular meeting. Your car has really done that. But how has your car done that? Your car has basically done that because it had some sensors to analyze the traffic condition. And when it analyzed the traffic conditions, it automatically came to know that you will not be able to arrive at a particular time for the meeting. And that is when the car informed the sensor of the car informed a different sensor which is there for this particular meeting, or it informed, you can say, the Outlook Exchange server that the meeting needs to be postponed, and then subsequently you go ahead and inform all the participants of the meeting. This is the magic of IoT, which is basically happening. And certainly you also realize that you have to basically go ahead and uh, all the things you have to do via the sensors. That's when IoT comes into play. Let us take another example. For example, you are taking your clock, and if your alarm clock wakes you at 6 a.m. in the morning, then it basically notifies the coffee machine that your coffee should be ready. This is all done via the sensor. So the origination point is basically the alarm in the clock, and then the alarm in the clock now notifies the coffee machine. So it's the sensors which are basically playing the role of informing the other device that basically the person has woken up at 6 a.m. in the morning, and so it is the coffee. Basically, like in a gist, what I'm trying to explain to you is that uh, it is basically the internet which is basically having the information, and then it is relaying the information to another device which is going to have the same internet, and this relay of the information from one device to the other device, so that the other device can synchronously work after it receives the signal from the first device, is known as the Internet of Things. And that is where all the devices are connected together and they are controlled by the internet, and that is where the synchronicity of the particular devices is very, very important for the smooth working of the particular device. Now, let us go to the next slide. Now, okay, here we are going to discuss about the IoT platforms which are basically there. The IoT platform, we basically divide into three categories, and we start working on each of the category. The edge tier is the category number one. In the edge tier will have certain sensors, and then these sensors will basically sense, and they will then relay it to the particular platform and to the enterprise tier, and so on and so forth. The communication, it basically goes on. Like, I just want to tell you, there are different sensors which are available, and these sensors can be for pressure, can be for the air, can be for the collision part of it. There are many different sensors which are available in the market. And once this sensor basically sense that a particular change in environment has happened, it goes to the tier number two. which is the platform tier. In the platform tier, we have this particular program which basically read the information that is provided by the sensor and then act on to relay this particular information to another of the device, or it will so happen it may pass it to the third layer, which is the enterprise layer. This enterprise layer takes the sensor information and does all the analytics, and it basically also activates the next layer. As you can see, and as I have told you before, that ABCD, artificial intelligence, is basically one of the factors which is particularly important in the case of IT platform. It is very, very necessary for the artificial intelligence platform to have the particular data. Now, when the data is there, this AI platform or the enterprise platform, which is the third layer, as you can see in this particular slide, will basically take that particular data and then it will basically slice and dice this particular data that we have got from the sensor and from the platform, and then basically once this particular information is there, then we basically decide what we need to do next, or the data which is there is classified and clustered, and subsequently the next action is decided upon the data which is there. So the three layers which you are seeing, that is the edge layer, and second is the platform layer, and third is the enterprise layer. They are all very important, so that right from the sensing of the data to the analysis of the particular data, the IoT platform is very, very important and playing its role. So whenever we want to construct, for example, a smart city, we want to construct a smart city, so we read the information which is there in the particular sensor, and then we analyze whatever information we got from the sensor. Take, for example, the transportation thing. And when we take the transportation, like we analyze from the sensors, like the particular information about where my buses are moving, then I can go ahead and read this particular information, and I can display it at my bus terminal. I can display what time the particular bus is arriving for a particular location. That is the beauty of sensors, and then basically we have to analyze the particular data. Take, for example, in the case of security, you know recently that we have a naval ship by the name of INS Visakhapatnam. Okay, what they really does is that senses the information from the particular environment, and then basically it relays it to the controlling man or the machine or the computer which is there, and then the machine basically analyzes this particular data and then passes it to the particular security personnel, who then take the appropriate action. So in all fields, basically it's a game that is there of the sensors, and the sensors will basically read the particular data or sense the particular data, and then they will pass on via the platform layer to the enterprises, who will basically use the AI algorithms to basically analyze the particular data, and then go ahead and take the next appropriate action. So in every field, for example, in the field of security, in the field of transportation, in the medical field, this particular usage of IoT is there. I told you in the case of smart city, how IoT is playing its role. And in the case of medical, I just want to highlight that since this was the time of COVID, we have been suffering from this particular COVID-19 disease for the last 2 years almost. And what the doctors do now is that instead of touching the patient physically, they use the sensors or the IoT devices basically to sense the particular information like what is the sugar, what is the pressure of the particular patient, or to analyze the particular images of the patient. And then once this data is got about the patient or the analysis of the images of the patient is there, then the doctor through the intelligent applications basically slices and dices the data, that is through the use of his laptops or AI algorithm, he is able to analyze the particular data that a patient is having. He is able to analyze the image that the patient is basically like his organs are having, and then he is able to prescribe the right medicine to the patient. So these three layers are very, very important, and one should have these three layers when designing a particular application. And now you will ask me the very question that how really do I go ahead and use this particular layer? I suggest that you use one of the very simple computers, and we in the industry also do that. We basically use the simple Raspberry Pi. The Raspberry Pi is one of the devices which has an inbuilt Python operating system in it, and the Python language helps to analyze the particular data. And then once the Raspberry Pi helps to analyze this particular data, then the right conclusion can be made, and basically the data can be analyzed successfully. Now let us go to the next. Why do we need a IoT platform? It is very simple. We need IoT platform in almost all the industries that we are working on. For example, let us take a particular industry like, for example, a manufacturing industry. What really do I need? Without a IoT platform, the manager who is there, he will not have the view of the particular industry or the particular raw material that he is using in his particular workshop. Also, he will not have a view of how much he is manufacturing, so that he can sell his goods to the appropriate places. And basically the goods that are manufactured are a particular number, and he basically needs to channelize it to a particular location, and that's why he needs to know what is the number of the goods that he is manufacturing, and that can all be done via the use of a IoT device, because the IoT device can basically read the number of devices and the number of goods that he is making at a particular point of time, and then basically he can channel it to a particular location. For example, there is a particular solution developer. If he or she has to develop a particular solution or a particular thing to be manufactured, then he or she need to have the information about what are the things required for making and how many things am I going to manufacture. This all information is got via the help of sensor, and once the sensor basically give the information, then it's very easy for the particular solution developer to go ahead and develop the solution, and then subsequently the right thing is done. Now let us see the IoT appliances, various IoT appliances that are used in industry or that are present in the world today. For example, let us take let me go down. If anybody has any questions, then the person can ask me now or later on. That's okay. Okay. No questions. So I'll just continue with the Internet of Things, the appliances which are there, and we continue to use this particular appliances in our day-to-day life. For example, we wear a lot of technology in us, and the particular thing is the wearable technology that we have. This measures the blood pressure, the sugar, and all these things that a particular patient has. We wear it in our wrist, we wear it in our arms, also we wear it in our eyes, so that now the blind can basically see. The blind basically has an image created in the computer, and the computer is able to analyze this particular image that's coming up in the mind of the particular person. So let's also jump to the example of fridge. For example, the fridge is able to have sensors which are installed in the fridge, which will basically like purify the water to a certain level, and then we get the purified water, and then we drink it, and subsequently we say that we are drinking the smart water, which is full of minerals, and this will not cause any disease to us. In the case of healthcare also, I given you the example that a wearable device may be able to go ahead, and this may be able to see the sugar, see the pressure of the patient. And here in this picture, although the particular person is going ahead and touching the particular patient, but it may not happen that we need to touch the patient, because the IoT device will clearly go ahead and get me all the data, all the statistics of a particular patient, and then we'll be able to go ahead and prescribe the right drug to that particular patient in the form that, since COVID is dangerous, so this IoT devices have been playing a good role there, and we will there is no requirement that we need to touch the patient, and we will all get his data from the IoT sensors which are there, and subsequently we'll be able to prescribe medication to that particular person. Let us take, for example, the machine to machine connected services. What are the things that we need? We first of all, we need the devices, the sensor, and HVAC is a particular device that we basically use in case we need to analyze our city or our home. It is HVAC stands for heating, ventilation, and the air condition that is present. So we need to analyze what is the amount of heat, what is the amount of ventilation, or what is the amount of air condition which is there. And this we do by the use of HVAC devices. The other devices that I did give you an example is some of the devices that we use in the range of transportation. For example, we sense a particular vehicle that is coming to a particular station, for example, a bus, and we analyze where the vehicle is and how much time it will take to come to the bus terminal, and subsequently we'll be able to display on the bus stop that the bus will be arriving at this particular time. And similarly, whether in case of a fire, or you know that fire generates heat, and if the heat suddenly increases, then we can say that we have basically had a fire, and this fire information can automatically be sensed and subsequently be transported or given to the fire department, who will basically be ready, and they will travel to the particular location and they will switch off the fire. These devices also, we are using certain lighting devices, which can like sense whether a particular person is there or not. And if a particular person is not present at all, then what is the use of the lights which are is done by the sensors which are installed on a particular room or a particular location or a particular. So for it is very necessary that we need to have the devices, and secondly, we need to identify the location also. For example, we may want to have the sensors installed in our office or in our home and so on and so forth, because we want to monitor the particular office or the home. So it's very necessary we also decide on the location that we want to monitor via the use of the IoT sensor. Then we also need to install, we need to have an idea about the application group. For example, if the group is commercial, or if it is a school, then it's an institution, so on and so forth, we need to decide which location or which application we need to monitor, and then which is the sector of the service that we want to monitor, whether it's the building or whether it's the energy sector, whether it's a consumer sector. So all these things we basically need to fix ourselves on, and then subsequently we need to have the sensors installed, and then we particularly have this particular sensors installed, and subsequently we just monitor the particular location that we have. Now, let me take the example of a particular school. For example, a particular school has now it's COVID time, so school exists, but it is basically the education which happens online from the school. And it is very possible that the teacher is sitting at a particular location and she is delivering a particular lecture to the particular student. So it's the online classes, and this is all done via the help of sensors which are basically existing. Also, we install the sensors in the buses, for example. It is basically going to sense via the smart card that the particular student is having with him or her. It will say that whether the student has boarded the bus or whether he or she has alighted from the bus. So it is very essential that we have the Internet of Things out here at this particular school, and each and every item that the school is having can be monitored via the data, and this data is basically going to go from the particular sensor to the to the internet, and that's why it is called the Internet of Things. So the principal sitting in his particular room can monitor what each and every student has done. And whenever he or she gets a phone call from any of the parents, he or she can tell the current status of the particular student who is there, or the particular teacher, or if something has gone wrong, then he or she can look up the videos and the recordings which are there, and then tell about what wrong has gone in the school, and then basically he or she can give the right reward or the punishment. Similarly, if it is a smart city, then it is very essential that we give the particular information to a particular location, and then based on the information the particular decision is taken, and after the decision is taken, then basically we try to create a particular city or a particular place which is basically smart enough, and it will analyze the particular information, and then if there is a storm coming, the meteorological department can by the use of the sensors or get the information about the weather, and then it can analyze and warn all the respective citizens of the particular place. So this IoT is basically used in all the places that is there, whether you say in city or in school or in security, anywhere it is basically used, and it's all start with the analysis of the data and the capturing of the data, which is basically via the IoT sensor. Now, let me tell you about some of the revolutions that have taken place. Today, we are, of course, in the wave 4, and we say IoT 4.0, but it all started with the wave 1. And the wave 1 had the industrial revolution, in which we saw that using IoT, we basically figured out how the industry is working, and then we basically slowly but slowly we revolutionized the industry which was there. The wave 2 basically comprised of the internet revolution, in which all the data that we captured basically has is stored in the internet, and then basically this data is analyzed, and subsequently by analysis of this particular data, subsequently we are going to make, we have made some intelligent decisions, and we have also implemented the same. And in wave 3, we are having the industrial internet, in which all the information from the industry is basically made available on the internet, and a industry of a particular type, it can basically use the good practices that a different industry of the same type or of different type. So there is a mixture of large amount of uh, data and good practices from one industry to the other, and this basically happens. Of course, today we are in the wave 4, and IoT basically 4.0 is typically helping in the industrial revolution in the digital fashion. That is, all the data that we have is basically digitized and then basically stored, so that we don't have the data in logs and in books and in all those stuff, and we have those in the digital form, and then we can analyze those. So today is basically wave 4 and IoT 4.0 is catching up in the industry in a big way. Let me tell you some of the market trends. And here in the market trend, basically there are three aspects which are there. First aspect is that of the app logic. So the application which we have is basically going to have a particular logic in which the application is basically made, and then, for example, if we take, for example, a flight which is flying from, say, Agartala to basically Calcutta. Now, there are different type of weathers that can be there, and these weathers are basically sensed by the sensor, and then basically these particular decisions have to be made. So, it is very necessary that we have some of the components, like the carrier communication. For example, we will have the VPN. VPN basically stands for the virtual private network, that is very much required for the application to basically have the data by a particular means of a particular carrier. APN refers to the access endpoint. So access endpoints basically stands for the particular access that we are going to have for a particular location and the endpoint for that. So it is very necessary that we have one of the carrier information communication necessary in case of IoT. Now, it is also necessary that we have an application platform. This application platform basically helps in the various sensors, coordination of the sensor. So whatever data we get regarding the humidity or the particular weather or the particular speed, whatever data we get, we basically have to analyze that particular data, and subsequently, after the analysis of the particular data, then we have to make an intelligent decision as to what to do next. So this application platform is a very necessary part of the particular IoT scenario that we are having. Now, how really do we go ahead and capture this particular data through which we make intelligent decision? This is through the use of the devices and the operating system which are associated with that. For example, I told you that if you want to start a small IoT project at your home, it is very necessary that you purchase the Raspberry Pi. And when you purchase the Raspberry Pi, it basically comes with the operating system, and the Python software is basically installed on top of that. So whichever device or whichever sensor you basically connect to that particular Raspberry Pi, it's going to read the data, and then you can write Python program so that you can analyze your data and subsequently make an intelligent next step that you want to do with this particular information. So in order to have a IoT device, it is very necessary that we also have with it the carrier information, the IoT application platform, and the devices which basically supply us the particular data. Now, when we are having the particular data from the IoT devices, we are basically going to do something with that data. That particular data is basically then analyzed via the use of AI or intelligent programs, and subsequently the next step is decided. At the bottom, you see actuators. What I mean is basically after analyzing the IoT devices data, what we do actually is we basically move a machine part. That machine part is basically the role of the actuator. Today, there are some cars being manufactured by the help of robot. There is no manual labor in manufacturing of cars like Toyota, Honda, Mercedes, BMW, you can name it. And in case of airplanes also, it is a very complex machinery, and that's why we do not use a human being to go ahead and make a car which is very mechanized or which is very good, and aeroplanes or ships. But of course, wherever minimum required, we basically use the human workforce. So it's very necessary that when we are having the IoT devices, we basically sense the information from the IoT device and then decide our next step. So it is very necessary that when we are having this particular technology in our hand, we use the technology so that we can make some good cars, some highly technical and intelligent cars or airplanes or ships or anything that we want. And then our cities also, we can use this sensor and go ahead and make our cities more intelligent per se. Let me go to the next. For example, let us see the different IoT platforms. And as you see in this particular graph, like there are only 298 devices that are basically manufactured, and the CAGR is basically only 298, but today it is 1000 plus, 1644 to be precise. And what we are saying out here is that the IoT platforms which are there, several different companies, for example, the startups, the medium size, and all these companies are going to have the IoT platforms, and that platforms are basically catching up in the world today. Let us take a particular statistic, for example. Now, $2 billion in IoT platforms is basically that has been invested. And when such a large amount of money has been invested in the sensor, it is also necessary for us to analyze the particular sensor information and then go ahead and make use of it. In the software that's there are various software which can be used for the IoT, and GE, General Electric, is the company which makes one software. That software is known as the Predict software, and that Predict software is basically used in the manufacturing of the aeroplanes, in the manufacturing of other things, medical equipment, and things like that can be done via the use of the IoT devices. And I just also want to mention that basically the IoT platforms, they are basically having the hardware, they are having the software, they have the networks and everything. And we basically take all of that and then we make the particular IoT platform or the IoT enterprise, and then we can basically go ahead and run it successfully to the particular advantage of the person. I also want to mention you that since we are talking about the internet, we have to ensure that we need to have connectivity and fast internet for this purpose of the IoT. Without the fast internet, it is not possible to go ahead and implement IoT in a successful manner. And that's why when we are saying that we are going to implement the IoT, it is very necessary that we also have something which is known as the fast internet. And that's why you can see that the internet providers in this world, they are basically delivering faster and faster internet. Just wanted to tell you about 10 most popular Internet of Things applications. And these applications could be anywhere from the smart home, in which basically the security of the home, we do not wake up or we do not put a human guard to basically monitor the security of our home. This is all done by the smart homes, whether the heating, whether the ventilation, whether the AC in the home. This is all done via the smart internet. The wearables that we have talked about, then we could wear one such device on our hand and then or in our heart, for example, and that can be monitored and send data. And this data can definitely be looked at by the doctor who can then prescribe the medicines to us. We also have it in the development of the smart city that we need this particular IoT application. And I have given you the particular example of a particular bus, and or you can say that if we needed to cleanse the water that we are drinking, then we need to have the IoT device connected so that it can sense what is the ingredient of the water that we are drinking or the food that we are eating. Now, in case of energy and utilities, the smart grid, so the power that's getting generated, it's basically used effectively by the devices which are there, and subsequently you can see, for example, in every walk of life, these IoT devices are basically important. Let me go on to the next what the future has for us. The future is basically having a lot of scope in IoT. And as I told you before, that IoT is basically falling under the bracket of AI. And basically, what we are having today is basically the 3 trillion market, not even million billion, but a trillion market that we are having, that we will see in the year to come, in the next 5 years. And we are having this particular IoT sensor, and 27 billion we are going to have in the next 5 years, from a particular 6 billion that we are having in the previous 5 years. So you can see that over the 10 years that we are talking about, we have almost had the IoT devices to be fivefold. And that is the beauty that we are having in the IoT, and we are basically using IoT in every field that you can think about. Now, let me talk about the different industries that we are having. Now, in the case of banking industry, for example, we are going to have the replacement of the cash. Now, as you have seen that after this particular monetization has been lost, and some of the notes, like for example, the 500 and 1,000 notes have been taken away from the currency, and they are no longer used. The banking industry, which is basically going all digital, and then we are not going to the bank for anything, but sometimes we withdraw the money, and this is all via the use of IoT that is there, and the counting which happens of the money is also digitized, and so on and so forth. So IoT finds itself a lot of usage in the banking industry, even in the healthcare industry that we have discussed. Now we are basically going to have some of the devices basically monitor the health condition of the patient, and then send the doctor to the doctor the information about how the patient data is there, and subsequently the doctor will be able to give medicine to the particular person. In the case of automotive, like I told you, that today nobody manufactures by hand or by human workforce. It is basically all the robots which are basically making all the cars, or all the airplanes, or all the trains, or all the metros that you can think about. We also use IoT in case of retail, and in case of retail, the sensor is going to basically find out who the customer is, and then what is the loyalty that need to be given to the particular customer. All the delivery, which is mentioned, which is taken care of by the IoT device. So you can see that the IoT devices are growing popular every day, and subsequently we are going to have the IoT devices basically take care of all the information, as well as do all the things for us. Little as much little as possible, the human workforce is going to be used. In the case of transportation, also the IoT devices are very, very important. And I gave you the example of the IoT devices being fixed on a particular vehicle, and we will be able to analyze where the vehicle is and how much time it will take to reach a particular destination, and that's where we can go ahead and display the actual information as to how much time it will take for the transport vehicle to reach a particular place. In the case of energy and utilities also, we use IoT devices. Like for example, I have told you the example that, for example, if in a particular street, there is no one going through that particular street, then I can basically shut down all the street lights, and that's all done via the help of the IoT sensors which are there. Even in the case of manufacturing, we are going to have this particular IoT devices, and we can prioritize the customer requirements by the use of the IoT device. On all of these things are basically connected, and once these are all connected, we can basically go ahead and successfully, through the use of these particular IoT sensors, we can do the manufacturing in a successful manner. Let me go to the next. For example, let me take you through the example of a retail, and in some detail, if I am taking the example of a retail, the enhanced customer experience are basically provided by the IoT devices, and the in-store conversion. For example, a particular person has come to buy a particular insurance, but he may be able to buy next category, and we are able to show him the benefits through the use of the particular IoT devices. That, okay, what if something happens to you, then you will be able to go ahead and have the next level of coverage. So something like this is basically all the IoT devices can help us, and then they basically give us the accurate tracking of the inventory also in case of retail. And subsequently, as you see, through the use of the IoT devices, we are basically able to go ahead and do the accurate tracking of the inventory, accurate tracking of the information which is there. Let me give you an example for the sake of secrecy. I cannot tell you the client name, but we have basically done a particular project in which we have basically counted the inventory which is there at a particular store for a particular item, and that's what we have used the information through sensor of a particular rack, and we are able to count through the use of AI techniques like image processing, computer vision, and all those things we have done. Also, we have used drones, and basically the drones are used to basically analyze the particular images taken of the damaged vehicle that is there, and by training the model like to analyze whether the defect is of the small type or the medium type or the complex type, we are able to go ahead and do that. So subsequently, like you can see, through the use of the IoT sensors, we have basically done a good amount of things. Now, here, for example, in going further to the area of retail, we use a lot of sensors out here, and through these sensors that we have, we are basically not only we are able to analyze through the RF, the radio frequency ID, the particular thing that we are having, but we can also stack the shelves which are there, and we can make a intelligent guess about which item do we need to stack at the beginning and which item do we need to stack towards the end in a particular rack. And through the use of the IoT devices, we can also they like improve the checkout process that we have, and subsequently the customer is going to have good experience when it comes to our store. So in case of retail, as you can see that in order to give some good customer experience, we need to use the IoT device. Subsequently, when we are developing a smart city, we need to give some good experience to all the citizens of the place that is we are basically going to implement the smart city, that is of a city or of a country. Today, the smart city project, which was initiated in 2015, has 100 Indian cities which are to be made smart, and a lot of work need to be done in this particular space, and hence we are saying that smart city is a particular project that is going to take its own time, and slowly by slowly we are going to make everything smart through the use of technology that we are trying to implement. Let me tell you something about the forestry research. This leaders quadrant basically has some of the companies which are doing work out there, and you can see IBM is one of the companies which basically has in the IoT space done a lot of work, and it is a lot of intelligent programs. Like you may have heard about IBM Watson, which is an intelligent application. And this intelligent application basically takes the data from the various devices, you can say, or sensors, and then basically analyze it. The PTC, which is the Parametric Technology Corporation of USA, and this is also in the leader squad. The General Electric, which is also a company of the USA manufacturing aircraft, as well as giving loans and various other things, is basically also one of the companies in the leaders quadrant. And we have Microsoft, who basically has Azure cloud, and then has certain sensors which can analyze the particular information, and after analyzing the information, it does a sort of a AI into that particular information, and subsequently it analyzes and it gives us a wonderful result. So these are some of the companies in the leaders quadrant, strong performers, like for the companies which are basically coming up, which are basically SAP, and then we have Amazon, which is basically strong in the space of cloud, for example. And then it also has the Amazon machine learning or AI you can talk about. And then Cisco systems, which are the strong performers. And also the containers are one of the companies which is known as Zebra Technologies. This Zebra Technologies has sensors, and this particular sensor will be able to go ahead and sense all the information, and then basically give you the data, so that you can analyze the data and you can go ahead and make some intelligent guesses with that. We also have in the contenders category the Logmein and the Exosite companies which are there, and all these companies are the contender. And I just want to tell you that a lot of work is done by the companies in the USA, and of course there and a lot of these startups are basically coming up in India also, and then you can be a part of that, and you can basically contribute towards making these particular devices or sensors, or you can write programs and you could do analysis. There is a lot that needs to be done in this particular space. Here in this particular slide, we are trying to show you about the different companies like the Amazon Web Services and the different protocols that it supports. Like for example, it supports HTTP, the MQTT, and the various device management that it has. Like it can support the various devices also, and the connectivity that can be basically done, and it can basically go ahead and use that. So, and we also have the integrated machine learning. What we want to say is that once the devices read this particular data, what next to be done? And this is basically all the things of AI and machine learning can then be done analyzing that particular data that we got from. And we have the generative electric, the predict systems, like these particular systems. As you can see, these are also having the capability of reading the particular data and then going ahead and analyzing it via the use of AI program. There are various other companies that are listed in this particular slide. For example, IBM, the Microsoft, the Parametric Technology Corporation, the SAP, and all these things which have the capability to capture the data and what next to do with the particular data, they can basically help us do that. You can see this particular information in this slide. Now, let me talk about the various IoT platforms. For example, AWS, Amazon is basically having the IoT platform, and this IoT platform is connected with the various services that Amazon includes, like the S3. The S3 is the simple storage service, which is basically the service which is basically going to store the information. The DynamoDB, it's a type of DB which is there, and it basically stores the information. And the Amazon machine learning, which is going to take the data and then analyze. And there is a Lambda service also, in which we can simply write a particular line and go ahead and analyze the data that we have. So I just wanted to tell you that Amazon is basically having the IoT platform which analyzes the data, and then basically we can make some intelligent decisions out of that. There are other companies also like the GE. It has one of its various IoT platform which is known as GE Predicts, and this GE Predicts is basically going to also have the IoT platform, and then subsequently it is going to have this intelligent software which is going to have the data capture. And as in the earlier talk it was mentioned about big data, then we can go ahead and capture the data, and we also store the data in the big data, the format that is the NoSQL format. And then basically we can do a lot of analytics on that. There are other platforms also, like we have talked about the IBM platform that basically helps to analyze this particular data, and subsequently we are able to go ahead and do a lot of this information. These particular data are from IBM, and the program are basically hosted as the software as a service, and then we can basically go ahead and use that and only pay for the amount that we have used. You will be knowing that we can host various platforms, and we are having certain cloud models like IaaS, infrastructure as a service, uh, or we can have software as a service, or we can have platform as a service. And these are basically some of the cloud hosting models. And IBM basically hosts its IoT platform in the SaaS as software as a service platform model. There is Microsoft Azure IoT also, and these basically you can use to capture the data from the various sensors and then basically do some intelligent decision from those. Now, I just wanted to mention about IoT PaaS, platform and service, that Microsoft Azure is having. And if you see, it is one of the famous cloud platforms that Microsoft is having, and you could go ahead and install on your cloud this IoT, Azure IoT platform, and then you could go ahead and have certain things which are done with this IoT platform. You could have from parametric technology also the IoT platform, which is known as ThingWorx, and this uh, particular platform helps us to analyze the IoT data and then go ahead and play with this IoT data, analyze it, and you can do your next intelligent decision or next intelligent thing with this particular platform. Similarly, we have SAP HANA also, and SAP HANA is one of the platforms which help to analyze the particular information that is captured by the sensors. It is hosted in the PaaS model, platform as a service, and is one of the good platforms that can analyze the IoT data. Let me go on to the next slide, and here we just talk about these various platforms that are used in various industries. For example, the manufacturing, healthcare, and different industries that we have. And this, as you can see out here in the healthcare industry, we use the IBM Watson, Predix, and AWS. Not to say that we are using only these platforms per se, but we are using other platforms also. But this slide basically tells you some of the important IoT platforms that we are going to use in this particular page. Now, let me talk about the architecture a little, and you can ask me any number of questions that you have after this particular presentation. First of all, we have this particular applications layer, as you can see on the top. So these are basically the IoT applications that we are having. Secondly, we have a layer which does the service support and application support. Here we are having all the support capabilities that are required for the IoT platform. Third, we have, and from the top, we have the network layer, which is having all the network capabilities and the transportation capabilities that are required for the IoT platform. And lastly, towards the bottom, we have all the device layer, which is basically going to capture all the information that is from the IoT sensors which are there. On the vertical, that is spanning across all the layers, we also have management capabilities which are going to manage the particular data that we have captured, as well as one of the layers, which is a vertical layer, is basically the security capability. And we are going to have a lot of security because the data can easily be taken away by some of the devices. So this is one of the IoT reference model. And whenever we are having a particular IoT application, then we can take this particular reference model and we can have our architecture in this particular time. Just tell you about the smart city architecture. Also, we are trying to help the citizens of the place or the city, and then we'll have certain organizers who are basically going to organize the data, and we are also going to have security and the police who are going to take this particular data, and this data can then be analyzed by them, and then security and all these things can be provided. For this, we need certain sensor to basically read the information. And once the sensors read this particular information, then we pass it on to the network, and then the network aggregates data and passes it on to the data processing, and subsequently for the extraction of the knowledge, and subsequently a smart city can be formed. Now, coming to the concept of edge. So here we have various sensors, and these sensors are basically going to take the information or take the data from the various devices. And once this information from the various sensors is aggregated, it goes to the cloud, and subsequently the cloud is basically going to go ahead and make some intelligent decision from this particular data that we have got. Now, I'll briefly talk about the IoT landscape that we are having. And as you can see out here, that there are various companies that are basically dealing with the IoT space. And the list is growing every day. And when we talk about the various IoT devices, like we have certain companies who are basically going to read the information and who are manufacturing wearables and watches and all these things. The sensor devices which are going to basically read the information that is there. Also in case of home, the information is read via the help of the various sensors. And as you can see out here in this particular slide, that there are various companies which are basically going to make the sensors for the home. There are various vehicles which are made by the various companies, as you can see out here, and subsequently also there are companies which tackle to a vertical. For example, the healthcare, the GE makes a lot of medical sensing devices. The Philips also makes a lot of medical sensing devices. And as you can see, for example, if you are talking about AR, VR, the augmented reality and the virtual reality, which is there, then there are various companies like Sony, Epson, and all these things who are basically going to be working in this particular space. Now, when we are talking about the industrial internet, we are talking about robotics, and this robotics basically is done by various companies, and these companies are like ABB, Asian Bound Body, is one of the companies which basically does a lot of this robotic work. So here we have presented you a snapshot of the various companies that are basically working in this particular space. And once they are basically manufacturing, then it is very easy for them to sell it to the market and do their things. These are some of the references that you have. And let me talk about certain books that can be downloaded by you. Like you can refer to the Amazon IoT. You can refer to some of the books enabling things to talk. And like, for example, you have Amazon Siri, which is basically talking to you, and it will basically switch on the lights or the AC which you have in your house. For example, you might have Amazon installed in your office, for example, in the car, and then it will do a set of things for you. So it's very all the books, and you can easily go ahead and download these books in the b-ok.asia website. And then the only restriction is that you can download only up to 5 books, and then you can read those, and you can go ahead and implement IoT in your various devices. These are some of the reference website that you can refer for the IoT. And now it's the time for you to ask the questions to me. What I suggest you is basically purchase a Raspberry Pi, and that when you purchase it, you can install the OS, the Python in it, and then you can easily go ahead and write Python programs, and you can easily go ahead and purchase a set of sensors. The sensors are very cheap, and once you purchase that, you can go ahead and sense the various conditions or the various things that it's supposed to sense, and you can go ahead and do your work. So, any questions, please?
Any question
Yeah,
from
let's do it.
participants? Any question?
Please ask any questions that you may be having. And one thing I just want to tell you that yes, we are going to learn a lot of theory about IoT in this particular session that we are having, and we are going to have over the period of next few days. But when you go to your institution, please implement the IoT. A small thing you can implement, and when you implement that, you will find that there's a lot of fun, and there is a lot of value that you can deliver by implementing the particular IoT application to the particular user of the particular thing. With that, I end my discussion, and since there are only 5 minutes, please ask me any questions that you may be having in your mind.
So any participants, any question? So I have one question, sir. Which computer language is more useful for designing IoT applications? Because there are a lot of, applications are there, a lot of languages are also there. So which tool we can use?
Yes.
Computer language.
Yeah, mainly I would say Python is a language that you can use for the IoT applications, and Python can easily help you in analysis of the data that you have captured via the help of the sensor. And these sensors are basically very cheap, and you can go ahead and buy them from any vendor that you want. Basically, you can order them in Amazon, for example. You can order for a particular sensor that is going to uh, monitor the ventilation, or that's going to monitor the water, that's going to monitor the light, a light sensor. And all these things can be monitored by you very easily. And I suggest that Python can be used. Of course, there are a lot of languages, like for example, Python is there, and there's R. You can even do it in C++, or Java. You can even do. But Python being the easiest, and it's very easy to learn. It's a language for the future. So, like I suggest that, like all the participants can start with the Python language and purchasing the Raspberry Pi, which is less than 5,000 rupees. You can purchase the Raspberry Pi, and then subsequently you can purchase the sensor, which is 200 rupees, 300 rupees, each single sensor, and you can purchase a set of 2 to 3 sensors, and then you can execute your experiment, whether that's a light sensor, whether that's a pressure sensor, or whether that's a AC sensor. You can basically do that. And once you do all this experiment, then only the actual benefit to the actual end user can be analyzed. Does that help you?
From SN Langhote. So they have sent lot of queries to you, sir. So I request to all participants to send your queries if you have. So you can directly mail to sir. Sir, email ID is there. With you. So, sir, his question is, sir, which computer language is more useful for designing IoT application? This is the question from S. Langote. Which computer language?
Yes, like I mentioned to you, that if you know Python, if you use the Python language, then that is very, very essential in order to go ahead and have all the IoT sensors send you all the devices, send you all the data, and you can easily analyze by use of Python language. As I told you, we have certain languages like R, we can do it in C, we can do it in C++, or we can use Java. But I would say that for the today, present day, and for the future, you can use Python language. And Python is a very open source language. That is, a community is there, and that develops Python. And today, the latest version that is there is 3.9, and it was basically invented by Gordon Van Rossum. But things apart, like I would say, if you know Python language, then you can very easily do IoT. Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir. So actually, there is a very nice information, sir, from your site, like based on various applications of IoTs, like IoT platform in IoT solution stack, then IoT application used in healthcare, education, and so many sectors, Raspberry Pi, M2M world of connected services, and types of role of IoTs, IoT platform capability mapping, IoT refined model, and edge computing, and so many. Thank you so much, sir, for your nice information. And I would like to request all participants, if you have any question, you can directly mail to sir also. And sir, there is a lot of queries from different participants. Actually, they want to communicate with you directly. So please, sir,
yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Like my email address, you can collect from
Yes.
Abhishek sir, or
Yes.
you can collect from Jalal sir,
Yes.
and you can write to me directly,
Yes.
and I'll basically respond to each and every email that is sent by you. It will be having a lot of interesting questions, and I would basically answer that for sure.
So there is another
Thank
question,
you very
sir.
much.
Actually, now I have received one question from Kamal Kishore, that is Python is useful for civil engineering. I think so. I think he is from civil engineering background. He want to learn IoTs.
Yes.
Okay, from so what your suggestions are for him?
Yeah. Python, not only for civil engineering, but for mechanical also, electrical also, and in other branches also like electronics and all these things. Python is a language that is being used very much. And of course, not to say that the other languages like Java, R, or so are not being used, but Python is being used. And basically, if you wanted to use IoT, then you could have sensors. You could go ahead and take the particular data that the sensors are basically reading or collecting, as you can say, and then you can analyze with the help of Python language. And uh, just to answer the question, not only in particular branch of engineering like civil engineering, but it's basically used in all the branches of engineering. Yeah. Any other question? Thank you very much, and all the best to all of you. I request you and that you will basically take a small thing in IoT and implement it in your basic in your work areas, and you can start off with the Raspberry Pi, and you can use it in whichever field that you are working for, whether it be any of the engineering, civil, electrical, mechanical, or electronics engineering, or you could take any of the verticals. For example, you could take a retail, you could take a healthcare, you could take telecom, you could take insurance, and then go ahead and implement that. So when you implement IoT, you will feel a lot of benefit to the society, and you yourself will have a lot of insight into the IoT. With these words, I wish you all the best, and thank you very much for patiently listening to my presentation.
Thank you so much for your wonderful presentation, sir. Actually, there is an announcement for our participants that please fill up the feedback form, which will be shared in your WhatsApp. And this is the end of our today's session. Our next session will be start from tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. And the link will be already shared with you, the same link. And please connect and please be with us at the same time. So thank you so much, sir, for your presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Jala, and thanks to Abhishek sir and all the organizers of this particular program. And have a good evening. Bye bye.
Thank you.